Hey guys, this is Juno and welcome back to another Summoners War video, and today is the day I finally make the video about Suso, Orion, and Garo. It's a siege defense guide. Well, I don't want to really say a guide because again, there's no script guys. I'm just talking, looking at my units, looking at their builds. But anyways, like I said, I decided to make more siege defense guide videos because I know that everybody has a different box and many people don't have a lot of units that everybody else has. So I'm just gonna try to make more videos that I still think works in G1, that is still viable. It doesn't have to be meta, but if you rune it well, they can get you wins. This is the reason I'm making this video. This is the reason why I'm talking about Suso, Orion, Garo. Although it's not meta, it's still a defense that could work. Anyways, let's get into the video. I think the core reason why this defense fell off is because there are many more counters to this defense than the meta defenses. And in G1, well, maybe not in G1, but in G2 and up, usually all the guild members, all the players have almost all the elemental units. At least in the Nat 4 range, and even in the Nat 5s, they probably have most of them. So because of that, when a counter is found for certain defenses, the meta falls off because in G2 and higher guilds, it becomes easy to deal with due to the fact that everybody has the units. However, in G1, I still think in G1 and under for sure, that's not the case. There's still a lot of players that are in low level or that are early game, also mid game, and they also don't have a lot of units. So this defense, if it is runed well, it could still get you some wins. I used it a couple months ago, maybe six months ago, and I still meet it to this day in G1 Siege. I see people with this defense, and I think there has been people that watch me go into it. Usually I win, but sometimes I lose. So it works, right? Even against me. So because of that, I want to make this video that if you have these three units, if you don't have, a Kamoon or Yen or Miho, you guys have to find a way to use this Orion. This is a good defense. Again, I'm gonna talk in turn order because that's what I like to do. In this defense, Orion should go first. And you see the Orion here. Again, don't look at the numbers, especially the speed, because this all depends on rune quality. If you're not in C3, G1, if you're not in the level to get this kind of speed, it's fine. You just have to have the speed that's in your level, in your rank. And I do have an alt. Well, it's not an alt. I play on my friend's account, and I do meet, C2 guilds, right? Because he's early game, honestly. And I sometimes see their Orion, and they're not even 130 speed, plus 130 speed when I say that. So I don't want you to look at the numbers, but it's best in this defense that you make Orion the fastest in your team. And that should be a given because he is your attack bar booster and he's the person that puts defense break, strips down, and so on and so forth. You should focus on his speed, that's first priority. And then his second priority should be accuracy because if you want him to land his skill 3, he needs accuracy. So I want to say at least 50% is the safe range. It could be lower but I think 50% is the way to go. And then you guys might say, you have 48%, but I do have an artifact that gives him 9 more percent, guys, okay? So he does have over 50%. He does have over 50%. But anyways, so you should focus on speed and then accuracy. And then after that, just make him tanky as possible with getting the speed and accuracy. But speed is the most important. So Orion goes first. The build on Orion should be Swift anything, but if you want to get the accuracy, Swift Focus is a popular one. If you could get more accuracy and speed without the focus, then Swift Broken is totally fine, or Swift Energy, whatever set that gives you more speed, more accuracy. That's the way to go, okay? Okay, the second turn for me is Garo, and it really depends on your preference. I don't think it really matters in this defense. Whoever goes next, it could be the Suso or it could be the Garo, but for me it's the Garo, and this is what Garo looks like for me. he's on Vampire Nemesis, but this is really your preference. You could do Vampire Revenge, but for me it's Vampire Nemesis. But I think those two are the best builds for Garo. Again, if you don't have the rune quality, you could go Vampire Energy, Vampire Guard, so on and so forth. But but it should be on Vampire, okay guys? And it should have a good amount of speed. I think it should be pretty fast, at least plus 100. Well, it depends on your Orion speed because you don't want to get cut, right? And I think right now, the Garo does get cut if the opponent brings in a fast speed booster, even though if I outspeed them. Because I don't think the 30% buff will make my Garo go next. I think it has to be like plus 130. I'm not entirely sure, but again, plus 100 I think is at least what you should have. And then you should focus on attack, and then crit rate, crit damage, and that's it. For Garo, I like you to focus on speed, attack, crit rate, crit damage, and then I know some people say accuracy because he does stun with this skill, but I don't know. Is it really that important for him to stun? It could be, but I really like him doing a lot of damage, so I would rather focus on his attack and you know, sacrifice the accuracy if you have to, or your crit rate or crit damage if you have to. The thing is, he will still stun. I always say this, and some people might disagree, but I think in Summoners War the resistance and accuracy is a joke, especially on the offense side. If you're taking in 100 reds, if you're taking in 100 accuracy, it doesn't matter. There's always a chance for the unit to resist or to defense break me. So because of that, even if this accuracy is 0%, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be that buff on the defense side, so your Garo will be able to stun. But that's what I would focus on the most: the speed, the crit rate, crit damage, and the attack. I wouldn't sacrifice too much HP. I think around plus 5,000 is good. Well, I guess this also depends on your rune quality, but I think plus 5,000 is good because you don't want it to be too low so that it could really get destroyed with one multi-hit skill. You want to give it some HP so that doesn't happen. So yeah, that's Garo. It's nothing much. I'll show you the runes on mine, but again, this build is gonna be all different depending on your rune quality. So it shouldn't really be an example on how you should build a Garo. Finally, it's the Susanoo who's going last, and it's one of your most important lead unit for your defense because Susanoo has that 30% speed lead for water units. So this is why Susanoo Garo was so I would say it was meta. I guess it was meta a long time ago because your Orion was able to almost always take first turn if you know who you're taking it into, or if you're confident that you have the better rune quality than the opponent. Because 30% is a lot. I mean, 6% more than the 24% speed lead, and the only other higher speed lead, I believe, it's the Sylvia, which is the LD-Nat 5 in guild content. So without that, unless they have better rune quality than you, they can't outspeed you. So for Susanoo also is on Vampire, and for me is Vampire Revenge, but really you could again put Vampire Nemesis, Vampire whatever. But the stats I would focus on is again speed. I think plus 100. Mine's not quite there yet, but plus 100 is safe. Plus 90 is safe too. It's taking last turn, so it just has to go right after the Garo. So make sure you take that into account. Next is the attack, again crit rate, crit damage. It's kind of funny because the accuracy is the same as my Garo, plus the resistance, I believe. Yeah. I give it a lot of HP because Susanoo has an interesting passive where he has a less chance of getting critical hit. So he'll either get glanced or, you know, take the normal damage. So if he doesn't take a defense break and then get crit, when he takes a turn, there's a good chance that he heals himself back up due to that vampire rune. And that's why I give him a good amount of attack, good amount of crit damage, and a lot of HP because I wanted him to survive because he doesn't have that passive like Garo or Miho where it's, you know, evades death. So I needed to make sure that he was tanky so that he could sustain himself. So I'll show you the runes again. Vampire and Revenge. Some are very lackluster runes, but it works. It works. You see that I put some accuracy on his skill 2 because his skill 2 does pushback attack bar. Recovery works with the Vampire rune. Additional damage by speed. Cool. Again, additional damage. Crit damage received. So even if he does get crit, he takes less damage. So all for survivability and more damage. But yeah, you guys might think, why did you ruin your Garo? I mean, I didn't just ruin him up for this video. I did ruin him up so that I could use him in Siege sometimes. I think he does have some use, especially as a speed lead. If I want to outspeed their team, I could take him, Orion, plus something else to make sure that I outspeed. So I didn't just ruin him for this video. I think he is useful. So if you guys do have him, I mean, he shouldn't be a priority, but if you did, for some reason, did make him, I think this is the way you should ruin him. But yeah, guys, I think that's pretty simple, right? Again, the reason why this meta fell off is because there was just too many counters to the Garo, and the fact that this is not tri-element allowed it to be more vulnerable to those counters. So I forgot the site, but there's a site that shows you all these offenses, and it also shows you all the counters. And if you look at this specific defense, it will show you many counters that could be used against this defense. But yeah, guys, I hope this helped. If there's any questions regarding this defense, please let me know. Please put a comment below. And yeah, you guys can even put comments like this. I'm in what, F1. How fast do you think my Orion should be? What Garo should be? Blah 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 blah. Anything like those could also be a good comment. I will gladly answer those. Because currently I'm not a, I only have 400 subscribers. Only 100, 200 people watch me for each video when they come out. So I have a lot of time to answer questions. Anyways, that's it for today, guys. Thank you for watching. If there's anything else that you guys want me to do in Summoners War, please put a comment below. If you guys enjoyed the video, please give me a like. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing because that really helps. And I hope to see you guys next time. Yep. Bye.